walk is hard, but I ain't going back. Fam, 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 I ain't going. I ain't going. I ain't going. I ain't going. Fam, I ain't going back. 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 Fam, I ain't going.
Make a left leg go like that. Make a right leg go like that. Move forward and you're not look. Move forward and you're not look.
See the Father chose us, so we got the righteous deeds. The Father chose us, so we got the righteous deeds.
Oh, praise it to the Father. Oh, praise it to the Father. Stick to the milk, oh God. 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 Make a left leg go like that.
Facial expression.
Oh, yeah, drop down low.
Facial expression.
Lift your leg up high.
I said facial expression.
Go down, go down, go down.
Fam, this walk is hard, but I ain't going back. Fam, 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 I ain't going. I ain't going. I ain't going. I ain't going. Fam, I ain't going back. 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 Fam, I ain't going.
Make a left leg go like that. Make a right leg go like that. Move forward and you're not look. Move forward and you're not look.
See the Father chose us, so we got the righteous deeds. The Father chose us, so we got the righteous deeds.
Oh, praise it to the Father. Oh, praise it to the Father. Stick to the milk, oh God. 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 Make a left leg go like that.
Facial expression.
Oh, yeah, drop down low.
Facial expression.
Lift your leg up high.
I said facial expression.
Go down, go down, go down.
Repent.
And we ain't going.
Oh, praise. Hebrews 13, 17, prophets on the scene. Wash your souls clean before we go into the gasoline. Took a while to understand Psalms 111, 10. Weather calling me from Mississippi, trying to build a man. I flushed 14 grams, it made angels rejoice. It made me and Satan divorce, no spousal support. I'm running the course with my hand to the plow. Now, putting in the pepper the way Soldier James taught me how. Break it out. It strengthened my spirit when we in the building. Ain't no feeling like giving the precept for a precept given. Preach, MOV conditions. Teach, self a second living. We, 2 Timothy 2:15, represent us with a common interest. Prophesy to the wind, reveal the man of sin, enduring to the end. We the watchmen for Israel, cause we watch it for Israel. We the watchmen for Israel, cause we watch it for Israel. We the watchmen for Israel, cause we watch it for Israel. We the watchmen for Israel, cause we watch it for Israel. We the watchmen for Israel, cause we watch it for Israel. We the watchmen for Israel, cause we watch it for Israel. We the watchmen for Israel, cause we watch it for Israel. We the watchmen for Israel, cause we watch it for Israel. We the watchmen for Israel, cause we watch it for Israel. We the watchmen for Israel, cause we watch it for Israel. We the watchmen for Israel, cause we watch it for Israel. We the watchmen for Israel.
Hey, shalom, shalom. You are tuning in live to the Watchman Radio, the Decree of the Watchers. I am Officer Semachiah.
Officer Asa. Officer Judah.
And Officer Ariel.
So today on the show, we're going to be dealing with, the topic is called, this is episode 17. We're going to be talking about mind your health. Mind your health. Because this is a big problem in Israel, amongst our nation, just period, our health. We don't have a good hold and a good grip on our health. So let's read that in Baruch chapter 4:1.
Baruch chapter 4, verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of God, and the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die.
So this Bible that we have is the book of life. This has all the instructions that we need to be successful in this life, in this world. This is the book of the commandments of God. This is how we live our life. This is how we govern our life. This is what gives us the instruction to govern our lives. Like some people they got that acronym where they say basic instructions before leaving Earth. We know we ain't leaving Earth. The earth endure forever. But this is the basic instructions. These are the instructions that we need as a people to be successful in this life, and our health being good is part of that success. Read.
Turn thee, O Jacob, and take hold of it. Walk in the presence of the light thereof, that thou mayest be illuminated.
So it says, take hold of it. Us as a people, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we have to learn to take hold of this Bible because we haven't done it. We haven't done it all our life. We've been in Christianity. We've been in all these religions. We've never taken hold of this life and walked in it. We just went to church, heard a motivational speech, had cliche statements and things like that. We've never done what this Bible say to do. But this is our instructions. This is the commandments of God. These are our instructions to be successful, to actually thrive in this life. So go to Sirach chapter 30, because the title is Mind Your Health. We have to take good heed and thought over our health. And that's our mental health, spiritual health, your physical health, your diet, all of that goes in hand with your health. Read that. Sirach 30 and 14.
Sirach chapter 30, verse 14. Better is the poor being sound and strong of constitution than a rich man that is afflicted in his body.
So, forgive me, broadcasting technology. I didn't give y'all the definition. Let's pull up the definition of constitution, the Google definition. It's the Google definition. It'll be the third definition. I meant to post the link. But it says, better is the poor. Read it again.
Better is the poor being sound and strong of constitution.
So better is the poor. The poor is those that they quote unquote coined as less fortunate. But the Bible is telling us that better is the poor that's what it say?
Being strong and strong of constitution.
It says being sound and strong of constitution. No, not that one. It should be a Google definition. Was it the Google definition? Yeah. Now go down a little bit. Hit the see more. The third one. Yep, that's it.
This is Google. Constitution meaning a person's physical state with regard to vitality, health, and strength.
So it's saying that it's better is the poor that his physical state is strong with his. I'm trying to reword it and make it sound good, and I'm messing it up. So that's a good way of saying it. It says better is the poor being sound and has good vitals, good health, and strength. Pull up those synonyms real quick. So it says health, physique, state of health, physical condition.
Health, physique.
Probably got to zoom out a little bit.
Yeah, you're going to have to. So you can say
so you
can
hit that drop down.
Synonyms: health, physique, state of health, physical condition, physical strength, shape, fettle.
And we read that last bullet.
A person's mental or psychological makeup.
So it says better is the poor that has good vitals, has good health, got good strength, strong mentally. He got a good psychological makeup. Better is the poor that has that. Read on.
Than a rich man that is afflicted in his body.
Than a rich man that's on all types of medication. His back jacked up, knees messed up, feet messed up. It says better is the poor. So it's better to be poor. Don't have a lot of money, don't have a lot of things, but you got your sound. You got a sound mind. You got good health. You got your strength. Read on.
Health and good estate of body are above all gold.
So this is the book of life. This is the book of the commandments of God, and it's letting us know that health and good estate of body are above all gold. Too many times what we see, we're raised up to get this good job and chase after money.
Right.
And in the meantime, while we chasing after money, we on a fast pace that what our people mostly do. They stopping at McDonald's. If you're still eating McDonald's in 2024, something wrong with you. Just a side note.
Crazy.
But a lot of our people, we put so much energy into work that we always on the go. So everything is convenient. We living in a microwave life. You want everything fast paced. Very seldom do you have a people that actually prepare their food at home. They make their coffee at home and make their meals for the week, all of that stuff. A lot of us don't do that because we wasn't raised up to do that. We was raised up, hey, go to college, get your degree, go get this job. You got to make 6 figures, this, that, and the third. So we put all our energy into making money, but then when it comes to our health, we trust in McDonald's and Burger King and Starbucks. We trust in the fast food restaurants that's in our neighborhood that ain't no good for us. We eat that day in and day out for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then we wonder why we get up in age and we on high blood pressure medicine for the rest of our life. We on we diabetic, all of those things. The Bible says health and good estate of body, gout, is above all gold. So it's better for us to focus on making sure that our health is sound, our health is good, than it is for us to be chasing after money, chasing after this good job and that good job and all of that. We have to slow down, get our health together, and then also have the good job. Read on.
And a strong body above infinite wealth.
So we have to reframe our minds to make sure that we have a strong body. That's what we should be doing. That's what we have to focus on. We have to focus because that chart that's on the back of the bread, that ain't helping your health. That we all grew up with. That I forget the name of it. I don't even want to name it.
Pyramid chain, the food groups. You talking about that?
Yeah. That. Throw that in the garbage. I'm just gonna say it like that. Throw that away because that ain't how we supposed to be eating. That has us trained. You got to eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, then a couple of meals in between, and then you eat this before you go to bed. Eat that. You're eating 6-7 times a day, and then your health is out of whack. And you go to the doctor to get analyzed, and many times the things that are given to you are not actually making you better. It's having you set on what's a good word that I can use?
Keep you more dependent.
You're dependent on a pill for the rest of your life, and it's not making you better. It's actually making other components of your body dysfunctional because you own this chemically modified herb.
Right.
That's quote on. I'm saying herb, but you own this chemically modified product that was created in a lab that's not really making you better. It's suppressing your symptoms for whatever ailment that you may have. When all you got to do is fix the way you eat, fix those things, and you will be good. You will actually get better by doing those things. But read on.
There is no riches above a sound body.
There's no amount of money in this world that's going to be better than having a sound body, because you can have all the money in the world and be sick and your life will be miserable because you're sick. Read.
And no joy above the joy of the heart.
And there's no joy above the joy of the heart. So I'm going to read my note. We often put a lot of energy into working to pay bills, etc. But when it comes to our health, we want a microwave diet, fast food, so on and so forth. So we have to come out of that thought process. We have to come out of that mindset, especially those of us that are repentant. We know we learned that we are the Israelites. We have to come out of that mindset. We got to learn we got to return back to our roots. We got to return back to our roots. Go to Sirach chapter 38.
Hey, awesome.
Go ahead.
Test. I wanted to when you read this verse 14, the first thing popped in my head, right? So those of us that live in Europe, those of us that live in America, these is two continents where it's riches, it's wealth, and you got everything, at your feet. But when you go in places like Ghana, so on and so forth, they don't be obese. They actually be in good health. But Europe and America, where a lot of people move to, you see people 400 pounds, 500 pounds, on pills, on medication, got canes, can't walk, using motor scooters. But people that, like the scripture said, they don't have access to all of that. They actually are forced to kind of use the nature, use what they around, eat the herbs, and they be in good health. You don't see no sisters out of shape over in West Coast of Africa. All these other places we scattered, and they train. They actually forced to eat portions because that's all that they got. So they used to eating small portions. Over here, no, you need more than one meal a day. Then you look up, you sick.
Then on top of that, you don't have access to like vehicles, so you have to walk everywhere. Now you, not only you eating the right food, now you physically fit now. You know what I'm saying? And unlike here in America and in Europe, our people not physically fit because they depend on things that's accessible. So
you said something too. They have to go work for their food. They gotta walk. They gotta dig up berries.
Right.
Don't nobody gotta do that here.
And when you say walk, they gotta walk 20, 30 miles
Right.
to get to certain things, to get us to a source of water. But over here, let me pull out my phone and get this lift to go right across the street where I can actually walk, but I'm gonna get a lift to drive me 5 minutes across the street.
And then speaking of that, you walking 20 miles to the well, and then you got to carry that water back.
I was just about to say that. They got to carry that on their shoulder and don't complain about it.
Right.
Because they fit.
Yep. Now, for real quick, go back to 30, Sirach 30, and read 25.
Sirach chapter 30, verse 25. A cheerful and good heart will have a care of his meat and diet.
So, this is a very heavy verse because it says a cheerful and good heart will have a care of his meat and diet. The problem with us in our communities, we don't have a cheerful and good heart because we've been so dilapidated and brought down low as a people. We live in harsh circumstances and harsh neighborhoods and harsh environments to where we don't even care about our diet. We going into these side stores getting flaming hots with cheese on them. That's like death on top of death. Because them flaming hots, you look at the ingredients on there, it's all chemical stuff that you can't pronounce. When you go into all these convenience stores, that's a microwave. You going into convenience stores and getting these so-called potato chips. But when you look on the ingredients, how do you have a bag of plain potato chips? But you look at the ingredient list and they got like 50 ingredients. Like how is this plain potato chips?
Ingredients you can't even pronounce.
Right. So we live that way because we messed up in the head as a people. So we have to learn. Because this Bible is what's gonna give us the comfort. It's gonna give us that cheerful and good heart. And when you in the scriptures, you keep in the commandments, you get that cheerful and good heart. You should start having a care for your meat and diet, care for the things that you're putting in your body, because you're starting to understand that our bodies is the temple of God. Our bodies is the temple. What's supposed to inhabit our body is God's laws. And if we keep in his laws, we're gonna have a care of our meat and diet. We're not gonna be eating everything everything that's put in front of us because it's lawful.
Hey, the proof that we don't have a cheerful and good heart or sound mind is that we call it comfort food.
Right. Yeah.
Because we're using it as a tool to comfort us. It ain't even necessarily that you're hungry all the time, but because you're going through something or you're bored or you stress, you want to eat something that's going to make you feel good.
Right.
Hey, you mind if I
That's
get the
heavy.
scripture real
Go
quick,
ahead.
officer? It's Song of Solomon. Some of y'all brothers and sisters need to write this down. Because when you get your quote unquote comfort food, it's a bucket of Haagen-Dazs to yourself. Song of Solomon 2 and 5.
This is the book of Song of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 5. Stay me with flagons, comfort me with apples.
Wait a minute. What he say comfort me with?
Comfort me with apples.
You need to eat fruits and vegetables.
We need a bomb for that one right there.
Man, we ain't getting no bomb from BT.
Nobody want no apples. Nobody like apples anymore.
Damn. We ain't getting no bomb.
I gotta give me the sound box,
That's
man.
a taffy apple or
Damn.
something.
But all jokes aside, that's the food that's going to really comfort your body.
Right.
A lot of this stuff that they say, you go to the doctor, they be like, oh, your body needs this, your body needs that. God got that stuff here on the earth. You can eat you could take 4 to 5 fruits and blend that up and read up on them 4 to 5 fruits, and those fruits will give you energy, just them by themselves.
You mean no itis?
Right, no itis. But we want to get the 5-hour energies. We want to get the bangs, the monsters. And that stuff causes side effects later. So we got to comfort ourselves with the real comfort food that's going to comfort our bodies. All this stuff we eating, it destroys us.
Get 3 John 2. 3 John verse 2. Because this is a topic that we all need. Because it's easy to lose sight, because we grew up in a society that taught us to eat a certain way. When a lot of the ways and the things that they tell us that is good for us, and I'm gonna milk being one.
Oh, milk doesn't do a body good.
No. And that's my opinion. I'm gonna say that's my opinion. Milk don't do a body good. Milk don't do a body good. I'm gonna leave it at that. But milk don't do a body good. Dairy don't do a body good. It ain't no good because you're drinking pus. Just do your research. It ain't no good for us. But just saying that, one thing that we have to learn how to do as a people, when we eat certain food, when you eat, pay attention to what the food is doing to your body. How do you feel after you eat that food? Does it make you sluggish and tired? If it does, that's a sign that ain't good. That something ain't right. Because when you eat, it's supposed to nourish you and actually give you some energy or something. But when you eat, if you eat and then as soon as you eat, you ready to go lay down and take a nap, that means that what you eating, something ain't right. It's having an effect on your body. And everybody not the same. Everything that you eat don't have the same effect on everybody the same way. So you have to pay attention to the things that you eat, the things that you consume. So that way, when you eat certain things, you know what? I can't eat that. Read that.
This is 3 John, verse 2. Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospereth.
So being in good health is biblical. He
That's
said,
right.
I pray above all things that thou shalt be in good health. I'm butchering it. Read it again.
Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health.
He said that thou mayest prosper and be in health. So it's biblical for us to take heed to our health, not just eating everything and anything that we want. We have to take thought of the things that we putting in our body, because us being in good health is a good thing, because then we able to, when you're in good health, your mind is a lot sharper. You're a lot sharper in everything that you do. Something that when you're not in good health, it may take you 4 hours to do something. But when you're in good health and your mind is sharp, you might cut that time frame that you do something in 2 hours, because you're a lot sharper. You'll be able to bounce back a whole lot quicker.
Hey, on that point, you ain't telling no lie on that. Because when you are in good health, you move quicker, you more accurate with stuff, memory, everything enhanced, everything is better. But when you not, everything is the total opposite. You tired, Like something small, you can't go up a flight of stairs. You can't jog to the corner. These are small things that we take for granted. But when you're not taking care of your health, you're not able to do those things anymore. I've seen people, they be in pain trying to walk up 3 steps. 3 steps because of poor health, being obese, overweight.
Like the scripture say you don't have a good cheer on yourself if you overweight and in bad health, because now you start to realize, man, I can't do normal things that other people could do, like walk up and down 3 steps. Now, we ain't talking about a whole flight. We talk about 3 steps and all that breathing. Like, who want to hear all that, man? Like, bro, like, get your health together.
I'm talking about finna come to tears from walking. Something that everybody should be able to do.
Then you look at their ankles, it's like, damn, how your ankles holding all that fat?
Right. So go to this Sirach 38, because a lot of us, what we have to do, as we are coming out of those ways of eating, those bad lifestyles that's detrimental to our health, there's one thing that we do have to do to be able to identify the various ailments that may be going on within our bodies. Read that in Sirach 38 and 1.
Sirach chapter 38, verse 1. Honor a physician with the honor due unto him, for the uses which ye may have of him, for the Lord hath created him.
We got to go to the doctor. And I say it myself. I don't like going to the doctor. But I understand that he's necessary. The Bible said, honor the physician with the honor due unto him, for the uses which you may have of him. It's good to go to the doctor, get some blood work, so that you can see what minerals, what vitamins, what your blood count is. Those are various things, so you can identify, okay, my red blood cells are low. Okay, what do I need to do to get my red blood cells up? What food, how do I need to change my diet? Well, you can understand what you're deficient in, and you can change your diet to be able to, you can change your diet early enough to where you don't end up being on the medication for the rest of your life. You can change your diet to adjust to make sure that you're getting the proper nutrients so that you don't end up with high blood pressure. You don't end up with diabetes and various things like that. Read on.
For of the Most High cometh healing.
I was going to say on that point, when it comes to, like, when you do go to the doctor, you can ask those questions that the officer talking about. Like, some of you may be, and I'm talking about our people, the Israelites, some of you may be experiencing, damn, why am I getting so tired? It might not necessarily be something that you eating. It might be vitamin D. Okay, get in the sun. Because in certain places, when our people, I want to make that clear, when we ain't getting that sunlight, that'll do something. We'll be vitamin D deficient, as they call it. That's something easy. You can go out there and get you some sun, and then your vitamin D will start kicking back up, drinking certain juices from the fruits that have vitamin D. You ain't got to go get a shot or take some pills. This is stuff that you can fix. So those is questions you want to ask.
Right, and like I said, it's important that we do those things. It's very important. Read on.
For of the Most High cometh healing.
But we must understand that whatever may be going on in our body, healing comes from the Most High. That healing is going to come from the Most High. It's not coming through the hands of the physician. It's not coming through the foods that you eating, the herbs that you may be taking and things like that. It's coming because the Most High is healing you. Because if the Most High want to afflict you, he's going to afflict you. I don't care how healthy you think you are. He will afflict you. Read.
And he shall receive honor of the king.
Read.
The skill of the physician shall lift up his head, and in the sight of great men he shall be in admiration.
So, and then I want to say this too. When you want to be, what's the word I'm looking for? You want to be studious. That's a word. When you're looking for a doctor, you don't want to just play Russian roulette and just, oh, I'm gonna go to this doctor right here at this hospital. You want to choose a doctor. It's, in my opinion, this is my opinion. it's best to choose a doctor that has, of course, most doctors are gonna have the where they give you a prescription, various things like that when you got ailments. But it's good to have a doctor that has some is the word homeopathic or natural, more like a natural remedy that knows natural remedies, to where they may have you take, if you have a severe condition, they may have you take a certain medication, but they'll also say, okay, take this medication to bring your condition down, to bring it normal, but then wean off this medication and take this herb or take that, go get this, do this. They did where it's a holistic. They have a
That's
more
it.
holistic approach
Yep.
to where they're not just trying to pump drugs into you. They actually care. You want to find you a doctor that's actually going to care about your health and not their pockets.
So, in other words, it's good to have a nutritionist as well.
Right.
A nutritionist.
Yep.
Those are people that they pretty much use herbs, foods, and different things like that to of an approach to deal with type of ailments and things that you have.
Right.
Such as like if you was lacking in, like what Austin said, like vitamin D or calcium or whatever the case may be, stuff that's going on with your blood. You need to clean your blood.
Right.
You're going through this because your blood is not good. Start eating these type of foods, and it's going to clean and flush that stuff out.
Right.
So we need nutritionists as well.
Yeah, and with, like I said, that good to have a nutritionist, but you want to have a doctor that has that natural mind. Because if you got a doctor that's just straight
By the book.
by the book, that they that's all they gonna give you. They gonna be like, well, no, that's really not gonna work. Well, no, they not gonna direct you to a natural cure. They're gonna direct you to whatever drug that they have that's gonna suppress the symptoms that you have for whatever ailment that you may be dealing with. It's gonna suppress it, but then make other things worse. That's not what you don't want. That you want something. You want to get better so that you don't have to be dependent on the drug for the rest of your life. Read on.
Sirach chapter 38, verse 4. The Lord hath created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them.
It's also good to do your research, because it says the Lord hath created medicines out of the earth. For everything that we may have going on, there's 9 times out of 10 an herb that you can take. But even with that, you have to go to those that know about the herb. You can't just go do some Google research and just say, oh, you know what, I know such and such take this, so I'm gonna go take that. Because just like with certain medications that you may take, you can't, if you take a certain medication, you might not be able to eat certain herbs. You may not be able to eat certain things because it'll counteract each other and make your condition worse. So you have to do your homework, and that's why it's good to have a nutritionist. Good to have a holistic doctor that has some knowledge of those things, so they'll be able to tell you. And even with the various drugs that they have, when you take them, a lot of them have the labels on it and tell you what you can and can't take with it, what you can and can't eat with it. So you have to do that. You got to do your homework. You got to do your homework. Don't just take somebody's word for it. You got to consult with your doctor, make sure it's safe for you to take various things before you just take it. But we do know that the Lord has created medicines out of the earth. So if you have whatever ailment it may be, 9 times out of 10, you change your diet, you change the way you eating, you can heal that ailment by adjusting your diet, adjusting the way you eat, adjusting what you consume and how much you consume it. Jump to 9.
Verse 9. My son, in thy sickness be not negligent.
Now, and most importantly, in your sickness, don't be negligent. Don't just ignore it. When your body, because our bodies send us signals. When something's going on, your body's going to let you know. We can't ignore it. We cannot ignore it. Whether you 20 years old, you 40 years old, you 50, 60, your body communicates to you when something is wrong. If your knees popping, that's your body telling you something, hey, something ain't right. Your back hurting you, your muscles getting tense, that's your body telling you something's not right. Sometimes it could be dehydration. You might just need to drink some water.
Hey, officer,
Go ahead.
you know something else on that? Sometimes it could be the damn shoes you got on.
Yep.
When you don't got the proper shoes for your feet, it might sound like something small. That one thing causing your feet pain, it'll shoot all the way up to your back.
Right.
So you got to be cognizant of the shoes that you wearing, everything. That's your body will send them signals. It ain't always, oh, I got to go get a surgery. No, you got to do that self-assessment. Okay, when I put these other shoes on, I'm good. Ain't no pain. Damn, when I put these shoes on, I'm feeling all this damn pain. The smallest things throw your body off.
Right.
So you got to be aware of that.
Now read on.
But pray unto the Lord.
So in your sickness, don't be negligent, but pray unto the Lord. Because remember what we read in verse 2, of the Most High cometh healing. So when whatever sickness, ailment you have, you got to make sure you send up prayers to them. Or whatever you do, whether you go, when you taking herbs, you on some level of medication, you got to pray to the Lord. Read.
And he will make thee whole.
And he will make thee whole. If it's his will, he's going to make you whole. Not no medication, not no herb. Not saying that we're not going to take the herb and we're not going to eat better, but it's ultimately the healing is going to come from the Most High. Read.
Leave off from sin.
And also you have to leave off from sin, because you could be sick because the Most High is afflicting you because you breaking his commandments. Read.
And order thy hands aright. And cleanse thy heart from all wickedness.
All these things have a part to play in sickness and ailments. All these things have a part to play, because that's called judgment. You breaking God's commandments, you get judgment. It's just as simple as that. So we have to be conscious of these things, because it ain't always something you eat. And we've seen it. You've seen people that had that be in good tip top shape, be in the gym all the time, they eat right, and they have a heart attack. Like, wait a minute, I thought you was. That's like, wait a minute, you would be in the gym every day. You eat good. You got this regimen. You doing everything right, but you had a heart attack. How? That's judgment. That's judgment. That's the Most High judging you. Jump to verse 13.
Verse 13. There is a time when in their hands there is good success.
So I'm referring back to the physicians. There's times when you got to go to the physician. You may have to have surgery, various things like that. It says that there's time when in their hands there's good success, but it's still of the Lord. Read.
For they shall also pray unto the Lord.
So it's good if you have a doctor that has the same beliefs. It's good if we can have doctors in Israel that we can go to, because they're going to also pray to the Lord that, hey, make my hands, touch my hands so that I can be successful. Touch my mind so I can give them the right antidote for whatever ailment that they have. Read.
That he would prosper that. Which they give for ease and remedy to prolong life.
And that remedy is going into curing whatever they may give us, because the Lord make medicines out of earth. They also call a herbologist that studies and knows herbs, because even with herbs, that's why you have to do your homework. Even with herbs, you can't take every herb don't pair with each other. You can't be taking one thing, you might mess around because you, in your mind, you really don't know about herbs, but you decide, oh, I'm gonna go take this herb, and you might take a herb, and you might get put to death because you done mixed something. You done mixed the herb with another herb that shouldn't be mixed. That's not compatible with each other, and they have a detrimental effect on your body. Read on.
He that sinneth before his maker, let him fall into the hand of the physician.
He that sinneth, that let him fall into the hand of his maker. If you a person that just eat anything and everything and whatever, you always at Burger King, you always at McDonald's and Wendy's. All you do is eat fast food, TV dinners. You gonna fall into the hand of a physician.
Yep.
Because that's called a glutton. You just eating. You just eating because it's in your face.
Ooh, they shocked right now. Overeating a sin? Damn. Yes, it is.
And you know, also this goes into like when you neglect your health, right?
Yep.
Like you just mentioned earlier, like the body knows, the body that you gives you signals when something's not right, but you neglect to go to the doctor to get it fixed for whatever reason. You scared to go to the doctor.
And And I'll be honest, I don't like going to the doctor. But as I've gotten older, I understand that the doctor is necessary. The doctor is necessary at times. Sometimes you gotta go because I'm not no doctor. I didn't go to no school to know if I got a pain in my leg or I got a pain in my chest. I don't know what's going on. I can't make a guess like, you know what? I got pain in my chest. Let me go Google this. And then take note. You have to go to the doctor. At least go to the doctor so they can assess you and tell you what's wrong with you. And then you can go from there. You can find a nutritionist. You can find a herbologist. You can find somebody that can further help you in healing whatever it is that's going on with you. So those are things that we have to develop and understand, and we gotta understand that's just a part of life because everybody didn't go and learn these various things.
Hey, officer, you mind if I get a scripture on
Go ahead.
that? Before we leave that point when you was going over the physician and how the Most High made medicines out the earth, go to Wisdom of Solomon 7. We're gonna read 17, then jump to 20. So you gotta do your own research on herbs, whatever it is at the end of the day. You gotta look into it. But we going here because one of our forefathers, he had that knowledge. He was looking into those things. Read that.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 17. For he hath given me certain knowledge of the things that are, namely, to know how the world was made and the operation of the elements.
So this is talking about King Solomon and the things that he knew. Jump down to verse 20.
Verse 20. The natures of living creatures.
So Solomon had knowledge of the creatures on the earth. Read.
And the furies of wild beasts.
How they act in their habitat, so on and so forth. Read.
The violence of winds.
He understood the elements, the storms. Read.
And the reasonings of men.
Why men do what they do, why women do what they do. But this is why we wanted to get here. Read.
The diversities of plants.
The what?
The diversities of plants.
We fell away from that. A lot of the old heads, I know everybody crack on Judah, but Judah that was, from down south and had knowledge of those different plants and leaves and certain things to eat for a headache, certain things to eat if something was wrong with your stomach. We actually lost that. But back then, you see, we had knowledge of that. Read on, that last part.
And the virtues of roots.
We knew this stuff. Some of our people that come from the different islands, they still be in tune with this stuff. Oh, we'll eat a papaya if we had a fever. But then we over here in America, we don't know that, nor do we have access. So you got to research this stuff yourself. Pick up a book, read an article, find out these different things that you can take. And, of course, use discretion. But bottom line, you got to look this stuff up. Don't be dependent on somebody to tell you all this.
Right. Go to Sirach chapter 31 and verse 16. Sirach chapter 31 and 16.
Sirach chapter 31 verse 16. Eat as it becometh a man, those things which are set before thee, and devour not, lest thou be hated.
This is just this one verse is heavy for us as Israel, because we eat a meal and because it tastes good, I want seconds and thirds and fourths and fifths, and we
eat the whole pan.
We eat the whole pan. Eat the whole pan because it tasted good, and then you so bloated, your stomach all big, and you can't even drink water after it. That's what we've learned being in this land, being in captivity. We've learned to eat like that. We're not supposed to eat like that. That's not how we were designed. You're supposed to eat as it becometh a man. You're supposed to eat for nourishment. We eat to get full. We eat because something tastes good, because it look good. Read.
Leave off first for manners' sake, and be not unsatiable, lest thou offend.
Basically saying don't be unsatisfied. That's what that is. You want to eat and eat and eat. You're not satisfied with a little. You gotta eat until you can't eat no more, to be satisfied. That's not how we supposed to eat. Read.
When thou sittest among many, reach not thine hand out first of all.
Be patient. Read.
A very little is sufficient for a man well nurtured, and he fetcheth not his wind short up upon his bed.
So it says very little is sufficient for a man well nurtured. I know many of us heard that your stomach is the size of your fist.
Yep.
How is it that if our stomach is the size of our fist, but we often have a plate that's like a mountain, that's the size of your chest?
Damn plate look like
And
the volcanoes from
right.
the science project.
Yep, right.
Bogus.
And we eat, and then we don't stop. We eat until we get full. We're not supposed to eat like that.
But we was brought up like that. You know, our grandmothers like, hey, don't leave that table, your food is done.
Right. You're forced to eat.
And you put it in a napkin, trying to throw it in the garbage and stuff like.
And that's the way. That's how we was brought up eating. But that's not how we supposed to eat. Read on.
Sound sleep cometh of moderate eating.
When you eat moderately, you able to get a good night rest. You actually able to sleep and allow your body to do what it's supposed to do when you sleep. But if you eat, you're eating late, you're just eating all the time, you're not gonna get no sleep. You're gonna always have bags under your eyes. You're gonna always be tired because you're not eating right. We not eating right. Read.
He riseth early, and his wits are with him.
So when you eat right, when you go to sleep, you're gonna wake up and you're gonna be able to pop up. You're gonna be able to pop up and go about your day. Your mind gonna be sharp. Read.
But the pain of watching and choler and pangs of the belly are with an insatiable man.
That's talking about diseases. You're gonna be jacked up. You always eating, you're gonna have diseases, sicknesses. You ain't gonna be right. Read.
And if thou hast been forced to eat, arise, go forth, vomit, and thou shalt have rest.
That's going into you. That's actually going back to what you said. You better leave that table until you eat all that food. You can't. But I'm a fool. Nah, you eat everything I put on your plate.
Man.
Then you can't even drink. You can't even drink. You can't even drink some tea or water because your stomach's so full. Right. That's not good.
Strong arm you.
That's not good. That's not good. Go to Sirach chapter 37. Sirach chapter 37 and verse 27.
Sirach chapter 37, verse 27. My son, prove thy soul in thy life, and see what is evil for it, and give not that unto it.
So most of the time when we go to this scripture, we're referring to various sins as it relates to like lust and things like that. But it also applies to food. Well, I don't say it also applies to food. The same principle you can apply to food. What I mentioned earlier, you have to pay attention to. I'll just use myself for example. I know that if I wake up in the morning and I eat, and I could be woke, alert, but if I eat like a muffin or some bread in about 30 minutes, I'm gonna be ready to go to sleep. Because once it breaks down, and I researched it, I looked it up. Once it breaks down, it turns into sugars, and it makes me tired. So I know for me, I don't want no muffin, I don't want no bread or nothing in the morning because all it's gonna do is put me to sleep. So you have to when you eat certain things, you got to pay attention to the effects that it has on your body, and then you will know what you can't eat, when you can eat it, all that stuff, because your body gonna tell you. Your body gonna communicate those things to you. Read.
For all things are not profitable for all men, neither hath every soul pleasure in everything.
That might not be the case for everybody. One person may be able to eat a muffin or whatever and be good. But I know for me, I can't eat no muffin in the morning. I can't eat certain breads because once it break down, it's gonna make me sluggish and tired. It ain't no coffee or none of that gonna fix it. Ain't none of that. It break it down and it make me want to go to sleep. And if I got to take a quick nap and then I get up and I be good, but I know I'm not eating it. I don't want it, especially not in the morning, because I want to get up and be able to go. Read on.
Be not unsatiable in any dainty thing.
And any dainty thing, talking about sweets. Read.
Nor too greedy upon meats.
Meaning, when you on your dinner plate, it shouldn't be 85% meat and 15% vegetables. We've been taught wrong on our eating habits. You go to a barbecue, all meat, no sides. Like, okay, well, what
4 pieces of cake. They put 4 pieces of cake on your plate with the food. Man, come on.
And these are things that we grew up doing, so it's traditional. It's normalized. So we think it's normal. But it's not. We're not supposed to eat like that.
And they promote it like with places like buffets.
Right. Yep.
All you can eat.
Yep.
Exactly.
And to be honest, it's never all you can eat because you be full off 2 plates.
Exactly.
But you at home, you can eat like 5 plates. I think they be putting some in that food, man.
Right. Yep. Read on.
For excessive meats bringeth sickness, and surfeiting will turn into choler.
So excessive meats bring sickness, and surfeiting will turn into choler. Surfeiting means it says you eat so much of something that you no longer desire it. That's what surfeiting is. You overeat something where it's like the sight of it disgusts you. We're not supposed to eat like that. We're not supposed to eat like that. That's a slave eating mentality. That's not how we're supposed to eat. Read.
By surfeiting have many perished, but he that taketh heed prolongeth his life.
So many have perished. Meaning what? You didn't develop diabetes. You develop high blood pressure. You develop all type of diseases because the way that we eat. We gotta change. We gotta change those things. We gotta change the way that we eat. So real quick, we're gonna go into some commercials and then we're gonna be right back. Let's pull up them commercials.
Do y'all know where y'all at? It ain't even Baltimore Maryland no more. It's Consland. K-N-Y-A-Z. L-A-N-D. Consland. It's Princeland. Cons stand for Prince. That's the first thing. The land is Princeland. The men need to take over for mankind. I never heard of womankind, I heard of mankind.
We are going to shine like you wouldn't believe. You are a walking billboard for God. Because guess what? Not everybody understands what we're about. Not everybody can relate, but what they can do is see, I don't understand. But that right there, I want to learn more. How do they get these men? Because it's nothing but the Spirit of the Lord. In the great direction of Bishop Nathaniel, Bishop Yawasop, Bishop Kanai, and the deacons of IUIC. That's why we're here. But at the end of the day, the buck stops with you. You gotta do everything to attention to detail, everything.
Cousin was a 22-year-old that was found in the back of the car.
Found in the back of the car.
Last week, Friday the 12th.
Last week.
Help but fall as candles burn in memory of 22-year-old Zambrisha Works. Her body was disturbingly found after she had been beaten to death and left in the backseat of a 2017 Dodge Journey on Stahala Hills.
See me rising up, you better get back. Harmless as a dove, but you still gon' feel my impact. That young lion, Simba back. Nourished off the Similac. Not everything you built is at stake. Don't let it be known, we need y'all. Us black women need y'all king. But I'm beating on this great whore. I'm no longer ignorant, I made it
in a remote prison turned black site. In just 24 hours, all prisoners will face elimination.
All right, Mr. Core, don't lie. Now, again, Gino Jennings, is that your man? That huckster? That fraud? Is that your man?
A revolutionary woman can't have no reactionary man. Where there's oppression, there will always be resistance.
Yo, this guy be teaching me the Bible. He said something about I'm an Israelite. Do I'm an Israelite person?
Absolutely not. The only thing you need is John 3:16, for God so loved the world.
By the way, have you ever been swallowed up?
What?
Come look at you.
Wake up!
Tick-tock, 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 tick-tock.
Hickory dickory, I know you sick of me, but you a guy's enemy. If you live wickedly, don't be an idiot. Follow for trickery, most has had enough. Call all the deacons on, and all of the captains is time to get after. We never reacted, we swing in the action, cause you running out of time. Yeah, you running out of time. Yeah, don't be tripping up. Gotta keep it up, cause you running out of time. Take time, take time.
Hickory dickory dock. The lamb he started the clock. 2/3 gonna drop. Papa gonna make him stop. Papa gonna make him watch. We gon' rise to the top. We the guys, we don't flop. Can't stop for the flock. Same place they took us. Same place they booked us. Colombia, we docking. Colombia, we mocking. Hit a tick cause it's talking. If you feeling me, just hit us up. If you Israel, keep looking up. We caught you out there with Bill ya. In it, minute, money, mo. Catch up, crack up, body, roll. Win it, holla, squeeze it, mo. When his eyes pop, let it go.
Hickory dickory, I know you sick of me, but you a guy's enemy. If you live wickedly, don't be an idiot. Follow for trickery, most has had enough. Call all the deacons on, and all of the captains, it's time to get after. We never reacted, we swing in the action, cause you running out of time. Yeah, you running out of time. Yeah, don't be tripping up. Gotta keep it up, cause you running out of time. Tick tock, tick tock.
Y'all travel around the block. We sail across the seas, 144,000. We deep like a pool, man. We digging, you constantly sleep. So everyone go and come gather around me. Can't you see how we move? Try but Judah too smooth. From coast to coast making moves. We the action apostles, yeah, they try to stop us. They ain't even want us catch the boat. I know it's coming, yeah, that day is coming. Can't wait till my hands cross his throat. Time is ticking. Pestilence, they stricken. The end time is wrapping up. All aboard, we dripping.
It's the perfect timing. Word more than the worth of diamonds on this earth is shining. We've been given power. One left, the 11th hour to the word devoured. I'm just singing the past song. The state of this kingdom won't last long. So how do you figure the time you got left when it's already 10 and a half gone? I'm in rhythm, never prone to a schism. On this throne, that's wisdom. On the scene, that's vision. It's in our jeans, no denim. I'm on the team that's winning. Know that we taking this globe. We on a quest to wake Jacob up next, and that's whether by plane or by boat. Ironic how easy we making the coast.
Hickory dickory, I know you sick of me, but you a guy's enemy. If you live wickedly, don't be an idiot. Follow for trickery, most has had enough. Call all the deacons on, and all of the captains, it's time to get after. We never reacted, we swing in the action, cause you running out of time. Yeah, you running out of time. Yeah, don't be tripping up. Gotta keep it up, cause you running out of time. Take time, take time.
Hickory dickory. The deacon pulled up on your dock, blew up the spot. This never stops. The prophets of God here to light up your block. Ain't taking no L's, so to break up the spells. And it's back to this shit that is here on your watch. Ticking the top. New day, got a new play. About to do it all again, no blocks. The kingdom approaches and this here encroachment. You still observing, you might be an op. Alert before we even die. Current sound shook cause Aruba got rocked. Prophetically speaking, we down doors, no knocks. I'm taking the kingdom, we snatching from Edom. Reclaiming our freedom, but it's gonna get hot. Redeem what they buy. Watch how we thicken the plot. Hands on his heel at the box. We hunting for fox. Dashing their head on them rocks. The most high to sped up the clock. Watch. Quest to wake the 12, hitting all the spots. They try to track our trail, can't connect them dots. Feeding the freedom and knots. This number 6 is to leave it in shot. Ticking the time is at hand for the flock. Man, hasten them gates for they lie.
Hickory dickory, I know you sick of me, but you a God's enemy. If you live wickedly, don't be an idiot. Falling for trickery, most has had enough. Call all the deacons up, and all of the captains. It's time to get active. We never reacted, we swing into action. Cause you're running out of time. Yeah, you're running out of time. Yeah, don't be tripping up. Gotta keep it up, but you're running out of time. Tick tock, tick tock.
Son of the world. I've been swallowed.
So, yo, it's coming to get you.
My man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's get up out of here, man.
As the 7 seals of the apocalypse are broken one by one, we move closer to the end of the timeline. Some biblical experts contend that the seals have already begun to break, setting the stage for a final cataclysm. If this is true, what could happen and when?
Hey, I done seen the future in America won't make it. I can look at Europe and I see it for the taking. China's about to fall, the economy is breaking. We ain't asking for the kingdom, man, we about to take it. Take it. World domination, we gon' take it. I don't need your money, yeah, we coming out the matrix. The London Bridge is falling, the Eiffel Tower falling, Statue of Liberty is falling. Call that world domination.
Not in the zodiacs, but the stars line are right. Thought that was a plane, that's an angel made of fire. The Lord gon' flip the cards and it started with a fly. You been sitting in the church while your pastor teaching lies. We after the world domination. For the blacks, Hispanics, and all of the natives. For Dominicans and Haitians and Jamaicans. Like bleach to a white tee, you nations can't fade us.
We gon' take this kingdom, break it down and build it up. Bring their treasures in the store, tell them fill it up. All the nations drunk the cup, tell them sip it up. Even if their bodies dropping, they ain't get enough. If you not walking in the way, better get up out the way. Better watch your words, cause he writing what you say. If you work iniquity, then death you getting paid. Judgment coming soon, I can't wait to see the day. I just seen the vision, presidents and politicians, all the kings and all the princes, everyone was bowing down. With the rod of iron, lift the banner up to Zion, speak against it, then you dying, beating nations to the ground.
I done seen the future in America won't make it. I can look at Europe and I see it for the taking. China's about to fall, the economy is breaking. We ain't asking for the kingdom, man, we about to take it. Take it. World domination, we gon' take it. I don't need your money, yeah, we coming out the matrix. The London Bridge is falling, the Eiffel Tower falling, Statue of Liberty is falling. All that world domination.
I just woke up feeling like I run the planet. Just like Jeremiah, you know that the Savior planted. They know we ordained to be a prophet, so they panic. With my rod of iron, I'm about to do some damage. When them waters open, I ain't trying to talk. All them babies getting rocked on the cinder block. We gon' make the heat hot like a dinner pot. Then I break them into shivers till the quiver stop. Whipping and flipping my people opinion till all the chosen to seal. You know that I've been up then as a watchman, so I've been watching the field. All I've been seeing is servants, all horses thinking they king of the hill. We rising up to collect what they owe us, they gon' be paying the bill.
I done seen the future in America won't make it. I can look at Europe and I see it for the taking. China's about to fall, the economy is breaking. We ain't asking for the kingdom, man, we about to take it. Take it. World domination, we gon' take it. I don't need your money, yeah, we coming out the matrix. The London Bridge is falling, the Eiffel Tower falling, Statue of Liberty is falling. Call that world domination. World domination.
Hey, shalom, shalom. We are back. You are back tuning in live to Watchman Radio, the decree of the watchers. And we're going to get right back into it. Let's pull up video number 1. Pull up video number 1 because we're going into mind your health.
That's right.
Curious. I mean, the significance of how stress affects our body is massive. Have you ever heard of stress-induced ulcers? Or what about stress-induced diabetes? How could that possibly occur? Especially if you're not eating a lot of sugar or junk foods. Well, stress activates 2 hormones. One is called cortisol, and the other one is adrenaline. And both of those actually switch the fuel that you run on. It basically switches the body to run on glucose, even though you're not consuming sugar or carbs. The body takes your protein and turns it into glucose, and that's called gluconeogenesis. And so going through chronic stress can actually cause you to have diabetes. And of course, lose your muscles. That's called atrophy. You can actually get fat from stress. You can even develop cancer from stress from different ways. It suppresses the white blood cells. It inhibits the immune system from working, and it causes viruses to come out of remission and be active, as in Epstein-Barr virus and the herpes viruses, as well as developing autoimmune diseases like MS, Hashimoto's, lupus, rheumatoid arthritis. Nearly every person in practice that I talked to that developed an autoimmune disease always had some stress event that occurred right before it. And it's usually chronic stress or some major loss. There's also a thing called stress-induced stroke or stress-induced heart attack. Stress can cause infertility, definitely insomnia, lack of oxygen throughout the body, muscle tension, and this other thing called cortisol resistance, where you just get a lot more inflammation. So even though stress kicks in cortisol, which is an anti-inflammatory, over a period of time, you develop this resistance to cortisol, and now you're inflamed because you're lacking cortisol inside the cells. And this is where they give people prednisone, and prednisone is a synthetic type of cortisol, just like they might give insulin to a diabetic type 2 to override this resistance to insulin, or even the prednisone overrides the resistance to cortisol. And look at all the side effects that occur with prednisone, diabetes, complete destruction of the joints. So I think it's really important to understand this stress component. When you're under stress, your ability to solve problems, your ability to be creative.
Pause. So now we're talking about stress. Go to Sirach chapter 30 and verse 21, because not only is it the things that you consume, your diet, stress can cause the same diseases that you would if you overeat. Stress can cause the same thing. That means you in your mind worrying about things that you have no control over. That's the easiest way to say it. Right. Read that, Sirach 30 and 21.
Sirach chapter 30 verse 21. Give not over thy mind to heaviness, and afflict not thyself in thine own counsel.
The key word in this is afflict not thyself in thine own counsel. That's stress. You stressing, and what that does is going to cause your health to decline because you're stressing. Like I said, you can gain weight from stressing. So a lot of times, and we see it a lot of times somebody could be trying to lose weight and they not eating nothing, but then they like, man, why I'm not losing weight? You might be stressing. You might be stressing over bills, over a job, whatever the case, whatever it may be. Stress could be causing you not to lose the weight that you're trying to lose because you're stressing. Stress causes a chemical reaction, and like he just said a bunch of words I don't remember, but all of those things are true. It creates a chemical reaction within your body that still causes detriment to your body. You can have a heart attack. You can have a stroke based off of stress. Read on.
The gladness of the heart is the life of man, and the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days.
So it says the gladness of the heart is the life of man. So no matter what we have going on, we have to learn how to make the best out of it. Not stress on it. Not saying that if you got bills and you got various things going on, not saying that you ignore them and act like they're not there. You still take care of them, but you don't let them take over your mental. You don't let them take over your mind and your thought process where you just stressing and stressing and stressing about it. Because if something bad happens, you stressing is not gonna fix it. You worrying about it is not gonna fix it. It's just gonna take toll on your health. Read on.
Love thine own soul and comfort thy heart.
So the Bible says, love thine own soul and comfort thy heart. Engulf yourself in the scriptures. Engulf yourself in the Bible and the commandments. Because that's how you're going to get comfort. That's how you're going to get comfort when you're going through stressful situations. Read.
Remove sorrow far from thee.
It says, remove sorrow far from thee. Don't entertain it. Read.
For sorrow hath killed many. And there is no profit therein.
And that's that stroke, that heart attack. Those things can come from stress because you sorrowing in your mind and it takes tolls on your body. That's why a lot of times what sometimes happens, I don't say a lot of times, sometimes what happens if you have a married couple that have been married for 30, 40 years and then one of them die, and the spouse that's remaining, if they don't move on, so to say, not saying they forget they love them, but if they what is it called? If they go into a depression and they go into that sorrow of mind because their loved one is gone, eventually they end up dying not too much longer after. That's because that's that sorrow. That's what it's saying. It says sorrow has killed many and there is no profit therein, because that person didn't heal and move on, comfort themselves and move on and continue living their life. They stressed and they sorrowed and they ended up dying the same way. Read.
Envy and wrath shorten the life, and carefulness bringeth age before the time.
So when you always worrying, you always stressing, you would be 20 years old looking like you 40.
Yep.
Be 40 years old looking 70 because you stressed and stressed and stressed. And of course, we all know we come from we live in stressful environments and all of that, but you have to learn how to we have to learn how to cope in the midst of the stressful situations where our mind is not so focused on it, because in certain situations there's nothing you could do to control it. You stressing ain't gonna fix it. So we have to learn how to do productive things to actually change the situation versus stressing over it and just rehearsing it in our mind and thinking about it over and over and over again. We have to do things that's conducive to actually fixing the stressor and not stressing on it.
Hey, to BT, can we go back to this screen right here? This chronic stress can cause, right? Because pretty much stress could cause a lot of things. Why? Because it prevents the body from functioning to heal itself from, like, if you're sick and things like that. So I know this video said a whole lot of medical terminologies, but at the bottom line, chronic stress can cause things like diabetes. As I'm looking down, it says insomnia, right? Insomnia is a lack of sleep. Why? Because you're stressing out, overburdening yourself, and now you can't get no sleep. And we all need a healthy level of sleep, right? And what else? Muscle tension, right? What else? Lack of oxygen, right? Because you hyperventilating, you having anxiety,
right?
Anxiety attacks,
right?
attacks.
Exactly. And ultimately, it could cause other things like weight gain. Why? Because you're trying to, like you mentioned earlier, comfort food. Now you're eating the wrong foods. You're gaining weight. You neglecting your health, your body, and you gain weight. So these are some things that stress could cause, right?
You also got what is called, so you got your comfort food. You also got your stress eaters. Like, it's people, they eat when they get stressed. Like the people who, when they sorrowful, they eat. You got the people, okay, when they stress, they eat. I wanted to get two scriptures on that also. Let's get Proverbs 14 and 30. Proverbs 14 and 30, then Isaiah 26 and 3. Just them two on that stress. Something else that this, I don't know if he's a doctor or not, but something else this guy does not have on that list is brain aneurysms. When people have that attack on their brain, literally, and they die, brain aneurysms come from stress. So it's levels to our health that we got to take care of.
Proverbs 14 and 30.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 30. A sound heart is the life of the flesh.
God said the heart here is talking about your mind. We see what can happen when we dwell on things, when we become sorrowful, when we become stressed. Also, when it comes to your weight, you can lose weight unhealthily. When somebody, like you see somebody, they go through, I actually ran into a person. I use this example. And this lady, she told me, I can't remember the exact weight she was, but the weight that she was not the weight that she was when I ran into her. Basically, she went through 3 funerals back to back. And she say people thought she was sick. That come from that stress. That's unhealthy weight loss. When you losing weight from stress, you ain't eating because this going on. You ain't eating because that's going on. And all the while, that stress is causing all them things in your body. Listen to what God said. Read that again.
A sound heart is the life of the flesh.
Read on.
But envy, the rottenness of bones.
But envy, the rottenness of the bones. When we looked at another video, it said something about adrenaline. It said when you got the adrenaline, you also got when you quick to be angry. All this stuff set off things inside your body. We don't know that. That's why you got to learn to calm down. You got to learn to trust in the Lord ultimately. Isaiah 26 and 3. Oh, you had that?
Isaiah.
Okay. Isaiah 26 and verse 3.
Isaiah chapter 26, verse 3. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusteth in thee.
If your mind is on the Most High, if you are keeping the commandments, you will have that peace of mind. So when certain things happen, it's of the Lord. You don't just say that. You really understand that the Most High allows certain things to happen, or he stops certain things from happening. So you don't stress over it. But we got to understand what will happen as a result of stress.
Right. And on top of that, go to Matthew chapter 6 and 25. Say the same thing. Says the same thing.
Matthew chapter 6, verse 25. Therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat or what ye shall drink.
Now, when it says take no thought for your life, it's not saying that you just go walk around aimlessly and you don't work, you don't do nothing to make sure that you able to eat and all that. No, it's not saying that. What it's saying
job. Disclaimer right. For the crazy brothers
right.
and crazy sisters.
When it says take no thought, it's going right back to that stress. Don't stress about it. Don't fret. Don't be anxious, over anxious. You being so careful and anxious about things. That's what it's talking about. It's not saying you don't think about it. And it's not saying you don't think about, okay, you know what I'm saying, I need to get this type of job so that I can make X amount of money so that I can make sure I take care of my children, this, that, and the third. No, it's not saying that. That's you still playing, but you don't stress about it. You don't stress if things are not going the way you plan. Read.
Therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat or what ye shall drink, nor yet for your body, what ye shall put on. Is not the life more than meat, and the body than raiment?
So it's more important for you to focus on keeping the commandments. It's more important for you to focus on things that matter than you to be stressing out and over indulging yourself in your mind to where you get sick, where you develop these various diseases. We have to learn how to do that. That's not something we have to learn. Stress management, because you're gonna have stressors. They're gonna come, but you have to learn how to manage them stressors. Like the officer said, you have to. Hey, it's of the Lord. Ain't nothing I could do. Ain't nothing I can do to stop it. Ain't nothing I could do to change it. But you know what? I'm just going to endure through it. I'm gonna continue doing what I do. I'm gonna keep my mind sound. I'm not gonna get stressed out about it. I'm not gonna get anxious, because I know the Lord. If you keeping the commandments, your thought process will be, hey, I know the Lord knows what's best for me. I know the Lord got me because I'm keeping His commandments. So I'm gonna endure this trial. I'm gonna endure this affliction until it passes. I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do. I'm gonna keep the commandments. I'm gonna stay focused. I'm not gonna stress on this. That's the mindset that we have to develop when we go through these various stresses. Go to that second timestamp. That same video from 3:15 to 4:35.
Ability to solve problems, your ability to be creative is going to be greatly inhibited. Why? Because you're stuck in your head. Pictures and your memories of stressful events. Your ability to be creative and solve problems occur when you're in more of the present, when you're calm, when you have a better state of mind, when you have more space. This is why I always recommend going for a walk. So this book is interesting because after World War II, this author took the same techniques which taught people who flew planes to relax under pressure of combat and applied them to sports. And the results were not only good, they were amazing. 37 world records, incredible. He also talks about like Joe Louis, the great boxer, Joe DiMaggio, a great baseball player, and noted they all had sleepy, relaxed looks on their faces. Their arms were kind of dangled. What's more important is they let nothing bother them. Whether it was hot or cold, whether the stadium was full or empty, whether the competition proved vicious or gentle. So one of the things you have to do is you have to really train your
Wait, no, it's a little more.
self to have a relaxed attitude. One of the things that the author talks about
train
is
yourself to have a relaxed attitude. Get Proverbs chapter 25 and 28. Proverbs chapter 25 and 28. We have to learn how to control those, be in control of those stressors, so to say. It's our responsibility to contain the stressors. Read that.
Proverbs chapter 25, verse 28. He that hath no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls.
So if you stressing over things, you always anxious, that's a sign that you have no rule over your spirit. You don't have any rule over your spirit. Things happen, outside things happen, and you stress over them, and ain't nothing you could do about those outside things, but you can control your spirit. You can control how you handle it. What did he say in that? What did he say in the last? He said that you have to learn how to. What did he say? You have to learn how to train your. You have to learn how to train your mind to be relaxed. That's having rule over your spirit. No matter what, meaning no matter what's going on, you're able to be temperate. You're able to be calm. You're able to be calm and think logically on handling it. Go to Philippians chapter 4 and verse 6. Philippians chapter 4 and verse 6. I'm going to read through to 8.
Philippians chapter 4, verse 6. Be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto God.
So instead of us being anxious about things, stressing out, being overly careful, we're supposed to just send up prayers to the Most High and ask Him for wisdom how to handle the situation. And then read on what He gonna do when we do that.
And the peace of God.
It says, and the peace of God, meaning He's gonna give you peace. Read.
Which passeth all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds through Jesus Christ.
So that goes right back to what the officer read in Isaiah 26 and 3. When you focus on the Most High, He gonna keep your mind at peace. He gonna keep you at ease. That's what we have to learn how to do. Read on. Read the next verse.
Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue and if there be any praise, think on these things.
This is us. Say it again. What he said at the end of the video. If it was some numbers, I already remember, but I don't remember words like that. What he said?
Train your mind to be relaxed.
Yeah. Train your mind to be relaxed. This is what we have to do to train our mind to be relaxed. Thinking on the things that are true, honest, just, pure, lovely, good report, things that are virtuous. What is those things? Thinking about the nation of Israel rising back up. Thinking about us as we getting ourselves right, the Most High restoring us into our rightful position. We're supposed to be thinking on these things, thinking on the commandments, thinking on how glorious our kingdom is going to be. That's what we're supposed to think, and that's going to keep our minds at ease because we understand that the things we go through in this life, we just passing through. And ain't nothing certain things, it ain't nothing you can do to control it, to make it not happen. It's nothing we can do. We have no control over it. So we shouldn't be stressing over it at the end of the day.
I gotta get a script because
Go
we're
ahead.
talking about peace and at the end of the day, Most High controls everything.
Right.
Let's go to Genesis chapter 50 and verse. We're gonna start at verse 19. Right.
Bring it out.
Let's start there, because at the end of the day, stress is going to kill you eventually if you overwhelm yourself in it, if you meditate on it, if you ponder on it. Stress will kill you eventually, right? But it might be hard for you to swallow that, man. Like, how can I be at peace when I'm going through stuff? Watch this.
Genesis chapter 50, verse 19. And Joseph said unto them, fear not, for am I in the place of God?
So this is our forefather Joseph, right? But he says something profound here. Read on.
But as for you, ye thought evil against me, but God meant it unto good.
God meant it on good. You thought to do evil on me, but God meant it for good. Why? Right. Because at the end of the day, when we go through things, we have to look at the good perspective of it, right? We have to look at, okay, what is God trying to show me in this, right? Read on.
But God meant it unto good to bring to pass, as it is this day, to save much people alive.
So again, the point is, when we're going through things, we have to have the mindset, okay, at the end of the day, things are of the Lord, and what is the Lord trying to show me? The Lord's trying to show me something to make me better, right? So we have to keep that in mind. And by us keeping that in mind, we're going to not be so caught up in stress, but as opposed to that, learn from the situation and be better from it.
Right. Pull up video number 2.
Do this from now on. I'm going to stop using the term mental health. I'm going to start using the term mental fitness, because it speaks to a process, but it also speaks to good days and bad days. Like when somebody is engaged in their own physical fitness, I know when I'm starting to get fit, it's sometimes a little bit of a struggle, but I keep pushing through. And I also know when I'm physically fit that I'm actually able to manage difficult things more. So I know that I can lift heavier weight, and I know that I can push myself through pain. I know that I can run a longer distance, because if I feel the physical pain, I know because I'm fit, I'm not going to actually damage my body. Mental fitness is the term, because mental health is actually doing us a disservice. So I think we're perpetuating the disease state by calling it mental health. I'm going to do this from now on. I'm going to stop.
Hey, you could play that one more time.
Stop using the term mental health. I'm going to start using the term mental fitness, because it speaks to a process, but it also speaks to good days and bad days. Like when somebody is engaged in their own physical fitness, I know when I'm starting to get fit, it's sometimes a little bit of a struggle, but I keep pushing through. And I also know when I'm physically fit that I'm actually able to manage difficult things more. So I know that I can lift heavier weight, and I know that I can push myself through pain. I know that I can run a longer distance, because if I feel the physical pain, I know because I'm fit, I'm not going to actually damage my body. Mental fitness is the term, because mental health is actually doing us a disservice. So I think we're perpetuating the disease state by calling it mental health. I'm going to do this from now.
So he's saying the same thing that we just brought out in Philippians. Mental fitness. You have to practice taking control. It goes right to go to 2 Corinthians 10, because it goes right along with it. Because the thing about it, when you if you find yourself where you're stressing, that shows that your faith is weak. You have lost faith. You saying in your mind, like, man, this going on, the Most High forgot about me. The Most High ain't with me no more. You lost faith when you go through those. What I say, 2 Corinthians 10. Verse? 5. I think it's 5 or 3.
2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 3. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds.
Now, most of the time when we use this is more so when we going out and we teaching our people.
Right.
And we casting down those strongholds of Christianity and various things like that. But on a lower level, the same principle applies to we get to thinking, we stressing, and we getting anxious over various things. The same things apply. This is it's spiritual. It's a spiritual thing that's going on within our mind, and it's causing detriment to our bodies. Read.
Casting down imaginations. And every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of God.
When you stressing, those stressful thoughts, that stressful situation, it's exalting itself against the knowledge of God. Because what you're doing when you stress, you saying that God ain't powerful enough to take care of the things I need. God ain't good enough to I don't want to say that. God ain't good enough. Sound like a damn Christian.
Hey, I knew it. You was like, I don't want to.
But what you saying? What you saying is, what you basically saying is that if you whatever you may be going through this cause that's prompting the stress, you saying in your mind that I have to take the reins. I have to take thought for my life because God ain't gonna be able to handle this. So that shows a low level of faith. A low level of faith for us to think that when we go through various things that God has abandoned us and ain't gonna fight for us. Because the scriptures say when we keeping the commandments, you shall fare. If you believe in the Lord and you keeping the commandments, you shall fare never the worse. If we believe that, why are you stressing over various things? If you believe that the things that we have in this life is temporal, what you stressing for? Why would we stress over things like bills and things like that? Not saying that you just throw them under the rug like they ain't there, but you take care of it, but you don't stress about it. You don't overthink and be overly anxious about those things because that shows that you lack faith. Read.
And bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ.
When you're dealing with stress, that's what you're doing. When you what the lady said again? I mean, what that guy said. Train yourself. You train yourself to relax your mind. That's the same principle that we just read right here. Bringing every thought to the obedience of Christ. You train yourself. Go back to when we read in Matthew 6:25. Take no thought for your life. What you gonna eat? What you gonna drink? That's the same principle that we have to apply when it comes to stressors. We can't allow ourselves to just get overly stressed and we just let it run rampant and then destroy our health and destroy our life. Pull up that next video number 3. This gonna be the last video. We're gonna conclude. We're gonna have to pick back up on the next show. Pull up video number 3.
Thinking about the youth population, there's some reports that have suggested that it's possible that this may be the first generation that doesn't necessarily outlive their parents, and that's a very concerning and sort of provoking thought. If we don't reduce risk for future cardiovascular disease, for future diabetes in our pediatric population, our young adult population, as these individuals grow and mature, as they enter into adulthood, as they enter into the workforce, and they have chronic disease that comes along with them, then that will reduce their productivity. We won't have as healthy members of society. They'll be at risk for developing complications that go along with those diseases. My take on why we should
jump to the second time step. So what he said he's talking about the youth having those bad. He said youth. When they grow up, and by the time they get into the workforce, they already got these diseases. That's bad because when you were young, you know how we was young. We was riding a bike here, walking here. Today that ain't the same. It ain't the same. It's not the same. We won't walk across the street. Our youth today will not walk across the street to go to the store. They would not walk across the street. They won't walk 5-10 minutes up the block to go to the store. We used to walk 45 minutes, an hour. We used to ride our bike to the next city, and then dread having to ride it back. But we was moving around as the time go on. They not doing that no more. But they eating, but they not as active. So a lot of our youth is they overweight. And the thing is it comes from the parents, because the parents are feeding them whatever. They buying them the things that's detrimental to their health, and they grow up, and that become the norm. You just want to say something?
I was about to say, when I was younger, we used to walk to the lakefront, all the way from the house, and walk back.
Bro, it's like
it's unheard of.
Man, unheard of. Like walking, I still ain't got no problem with walking, because a lot of times that's the only way we was able to get around. You was walking, the bus, because everybody didn't have access to a car. Now they just like, what you mean you finna walk? You're like, what?
Man, you could walk. I'm finna call me an Uber.
Terrible.
Play that next timestamp.
Of these age groups by different companies that are really trying to promote their unhealthy products that are nutritionally poor, that are calorie dense to these specific communities. We are identifying high rates of obesity both in the adolescents and also in parent and adult caregivers of the same household, which we refer to as PACs. We've also found that the adolescents and the adults tend to resonate a little bit more with some of the more positive aspects as opposed to the negative aspects of behavior change. So the things that influence their dietary and their exercise.
So what he said in here, he said that y'all gotta help me out. I don't remember, but he spoke on how basically how the food that's in our communities, the producers of the food, they target the black community. He didn't say the black community, but they target the black community, the low income communities, and that's where you get, like I mentioned earlier, you get the flaming hots with cheese in the corner store, the
honey
the
buns,
munchies and the honey buns,
the whole
all of
hostess
that.
company.
Right, that's all that. And I use, they get money and they go to these stores and they buy these things, and that's all they eat all day.
That's them Family Dollars and Dollar Generals all throughout the neighborhood. Your little mini corner store, right? And then you got your JJ's Fish,
right?
Or you got your Popeyes, a Burger King, and a McDonald's. Wouldn't be a hood without them,
right?
And then you got your little gyro spot.
Yep, and all foods that's high in sodium clog your arteries.
Right. And he also mentioned in the end that, certain foods affect your behaviors. He said that at the end as well.
Yep.
And then especially too, like you go into these corner stores, you know, moms give you the EBT link card, buy the Flaming Hots and the candies and all that, the juices.
Like a lot of our people probably thought that this was good. I'm probably gonna ruffle some feathers with this one. When the parents, they'll go get the damn variety pack of the damn Vintners chips about this damn big, about this damn long, that's bad.
Ramen noodles.
Right.
And you putting everything under the sun in there. More salt, more sodium. Y'all know this is poverty food, but this is what we was eating. And later on, you look up, your cousin, they taking pills for their blood pressure and this and that. Because early morning, I can remember this. Kids coming out the gas station with the black bag with nothing but junk food in there. Chips, candy, honey buns, everything that's bad.
The red little what they call them juices? The red
the hugs,
50 cent juices. The red one, the yellow one. What they got in it? Yellow number 5. Red this and red
Fagos,
that. All type of stuff. You said what?
The Fago Pops.
The fake O Pops?
Yeah, they was Fago.
Fago?
50 cent Pops.
That's when you ain't had the money to get Fanta.
Right, you couldn't get Fanta.
Then you
Sprite,
had
you got the Fago.
What was the other one? RC.
Yep,
You couldn't
RC,
get Pepsi.
Yep, you got the RC.
They probably like, what the hell is RC? That's poverty pop.
But go ahead.
I remember I went to the dollar store one time, right? I was grabbing like a box of diapers, and it was crazy because I remember seeing it was like 2 women and with some kids, but they were going grocery shopping inside the dollar store.
That's
and
how
they
you
had
know
literally
it's
had a
bad.
full cart of straight junk food.
Right.
and the little pizza, little frozen small mini pizzas and stuff like that, and burgers. Like you could tell that this is what they eat every day.
Right.
This is what they depend on with the bags of chips and the ice creams and all that. They had all of that, like grocery carts full of it. That's what they was eating. That was literally their diet. I was like, this is a doggone shame.
Right.
Bro, that's poverty, bro.
So by the time they get 20, 25, they already on high blood pressure medicine. They already on various medications, and they ain't even in their prime age yet. They still young, and you stuck your life is dependent on these medications, and we don't get that. We don't get the education. Most of us don't get the education to leave that stuff alone and understand that, hey, if you just change your diet, you'll come off that medicine because your body is gonna heal itself. Just like you get a cut on your skin, that wound heal itself. Your body, if you stop eating those things, you stop doing those things, your body is gonna heal itself. But you gotta catch it before it get too late, because when you get up in age, it's I ain't gonna say it's completely too late, but it's gonna take longer. It's gonna take a longer process. So that's what we got to come out. But just give me one more scripture, Psalms 83, because this is what it is. This is what he addressed. He said they because when you go to, like, we don't have access to, and I think we mentioned it earlier. We don't have in our communities. There's little to no access to better food options. Yep. Or you got to travel far out to get it, and most of our people ain't gonna do that. Psalms chapter 83 and verse 3. It's by design. It's not no coincidence.
Psalms chapter 83, verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones.
So they took a crafty counsel and consulted against thy hidden ones. That's the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That's us. Read.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
So cutting us off from being a nation, that's cutting us off from learning, growing up learning that we supposed to eat moderate eating, taking care of our health and diet. That's all a part of our culture, of us knowing who we are as a people. All of that plays a part because, like the guy said, that it affects us mentally. It affects our mind. It affects what we do. All of that is a part of that crafty counsel of having these, and it's a corner store on every corner in the hood. You got the gas station. Then right across from the street from the gas station is the corner store, the convenience store, the liquor store. It's by design. There's no accident. There's no coincidence. So we have to understand that. Read, was that everything on that?
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
And that name of Israel is layers to that. Because that's our culture. That's our history. That's our heritage. That's God's laws. That's the dietary law. Everything that the Most High God gave us, they stripped it from us. They had crafty counsel and took it from us. So now all we know is of some flaming hot. So what was them red ones in the red bag? Crunchy curls. That's all we know. Growing up in the hood, and we think it's normal. We think it's good, but that don't do nothing. It's doing nothing but destroying our bodies from the inside out.
That's another act of war. That's another way they kill us. That's that eugenics tree. On that eugenics tree, it got health on one of them branches.
Yep. And
give you all the bad food.
Yep. And then like with those a lot of them drinks, you got high fructose corn syrup, high sodium, and then it's just a long list of things. I just reading I think I watched the video or read something where it says I think it's called citric acid, where it's a mold. It's actually a black mold that's put into various drinks and stuff like that. It's just they don't do the whole number of stuff.
Crazy, because that don't sound like mold. I hear the word citric, I'm thinking like citrus.
It'll fool you.
Acid.
It fools you.
Acidic,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? And this whole time it's mold. Damn.
It fool you. It'll fool you.
It's a level of slothfulness too, because it's like, all right, you it's always somebody watching conspiracy.
Right.
So you could make your own stuff,
Right.
but our people be so lazy.
Yep.
Like, okay, make your own juice. Go to the store, get the fruit,
Right.
blend it up, juice it, do it yourself.
Yep.
Coconut, crack the coconut open, get the jelly, all that, blend it, make your own. We won't do that.
Right.
We want the processed stuff because, like you was talking about, it's quick.
Right.
But that stuff kill us though.
Convenient. But that's so. With that, we're gonna conclude this show. We're gonna pick back up on the next show and just continue on because we got a little bit more to cover dealing with our health. Because this is a vast topic in itself. It's so many layers to dealing with our health. But that's our time. We're gonna conclude with this, and we're gonna pick right back up next week. So, Most High in Christ bless. You've been tuning in to the Watchman Radio. I am Officer Semachiah,
Officer Asa,
Officer Judah,
and Officer Ariel.
Hebrews 13:17, prophets on the scene, wash your souls clean before we go into the gasoline. Took a while to understand Psalms 111:10. Brother calling me from Mississippi, trying to build a man. I flushed 14 grams, it made angels rejoice. It made me and Satan divorce, no spousal support. I'm running the course with my hand to the plow. Now putting in the pebble the way Soldier James taught me how. Bring it out, it strengthened my spirit when we in the building. Ain't no feeling like giving the precept for a precept giving. Preach, MOV conditions, teach, 7-second living. We, 2 Timothy 2:15, represent us. Will the common interest, prophesy to the wind, reveal the man of sin, endure it to the end. We the watchmen for Israel, cause we watch it for Israel. We the watchmen for Israel, cause we watch it for Israel. We the watchmen for Israel, cause we watch it for Israel. We the watchmen for Israel, cause we watch it for Israel. We the watchmen for Israel, cause we watch it for Israel. We the watchmen for Israel, cause we watch it for Israel. We the watchmen for Israel, cause we watch it for Israel. We the watchmen for Israel, cause we watch it for Israel. We the watchmen for Israel, cause we watch it for Israel. We the watchmen for Israel, cause we watch it for Israel. We the watchmen for Israel, cause we watch it for Israel. We the watchmen for Israel.